compassionate advocate who was actually a victim of parental alienation herself. So she has, some experience firsthand based on the child's perspective, and she's now an adult advocating for changes to help victims of parental alienation. Please give a warm welcome to Petra Deeter, joining us virtually from California.
My name is Petra Deeter. I am speaking to you as an adult child of parental alienation who had finally understood what happened to me as a child, but it was too late because my father had passed. So I spent the last few years, I've done a lot of research in parental alienation, from scientific research in the lab as well as interviewing thousands of parents and adult children of parental alienations, and as well as the expert in the field, from psychologists, therapists, lawyers, politicians, basically anybody that you could think of. I've done so much, and from that I have learned a lot about what could help you as an alienated parent to save your children, to save the relationship between you and your alienated children. So out of all these things, I would rank these 4 things that I wanted to share with you today as the highest. So the thing though is interestingly, and I've done a lot of speaking, and when I go to these events where I speak about parental alienation, when I ask people if anyone have heard of parental alienation, you usually get a blank stare in the whole room. Basically nobody, usually, very rarely if anybody have ever heard of parental alienation. But once you explain it, parental alienation is when someone, usually one parent, did something maliciously to interfere and prevent or destroy the relationship of a child with the other parent. And this usually happens in a divorce or separation. It doesn't have to be, but usually. And so that is called parental alienation. Now, when you explain that, usually you have the whole room look around and say, oh, that's what happened to my brother or my sister, that's what happened to me, or my best friend. Everybody have seen it. Everybody have known stories. And the thing is, people seen it so much, and it's been normalized. This abusive behavior has been normalized, and people tend to have that kind of misconception about how damaging this is. And sometimes people think, even well-meaning family and friends will say to you, oh, it might be just a phase that your child will grow out. That just shows how much the misconception and the lack of knowledge is out there when it comes to parental alienation, and how damaging it is to your children and to you, and the impact to the society actually as a whole. Anyway, so I think one of the very critical thing as the alienated parents, the first thing in terms of the framework, before we go into the 4 actions that I think is critical, the first framework is to recognize that the child is a victim, because the child has been influenced by this very malicious behaviors and very false narrative by someone that the child trusts and likely loves and needed in terms of protection, and probably best friend and that kind of things. So the child has no way for the alienated child to recognize the truth. And sometimes even when the child recognizes the truth, it's very difficult for the child to reconcile their safety and their well-being, because that well-being and that safety is being threatened by that parent or that alienator. So the child has to behave in a way that can be very cold and hurtful to you, and sometimes could be complete rejection. But to recognize that the child is a victim is very important. That mindset, you have to start from that, because you have to recognize that the child's behavior is not the child's true feeling toward you. The child simply is a victim and is behaving in a survival mode. So in order to save the child and to save your relationship with the child, you have to be the hero. So here are the 4 things that I'm going to share with you. So the first thing actually is about you. You need to live fully. You need to I understand the struggle, the pain that you are going through, and it's difficult to feel like you want to give up and you can't have joyful life and you can't live fully. But unfortunately, that doesn't help because one, it enforces the narrative that the alienator has been sharing with the child that you are not an enjoyable person to be with, and that you are they probably portray you as emotional, irradical, or that you are dangerous, that you whatever. So when you are suffering, you are not going to be able, and you're not living fully, you're not going to be able to truly show the world and your child and people around your child that could help you to recover your relationship. You will not be able to show those people who you truly are. So you really, really need to find a support network, and that support network may not be your family and friends. You may have to go and look for people that truly understand you, and that's usually people that have experienced parental alienation either as a child or as a parent, and those people will understand you. You need that support network of people that understand you, the people that don't blame you for the failure of the relationship, because really there's no perfect parent, but in a normal range behaviors of a parent, there's no justified reason for you to lose a relationship with your child. Then you are an alienated parent, and as an alienated parent, you need that support network so that you can control your behavior, so that when your child act out because the child is under the influence of parental alienation, you don't react to your child's behavior. You are able to control your emotion so that you can come across lovingly. So that's the first thing, is live fully. And the thing is, you cannot, the child is a victim, and as I say, you cannot pour from an empty cup. The child needs you. You need to be the hero here. You need to be the parent. And so you need to get that support network so that you can be truly, fully the happiest that you can be. As outrageous as it sounds, you do have to try to live your best life so that you can show and you can shine so bright that the child and the alienators can't deny how amazing you are as a person. Because I know that you're listening to this because you have a heart full of love that is rare, and you should cherish that, and you should live fully. So that's number one. Number two is don't give up on your child. As a parent say, oh, it's so difficult, I still have parenting time, but either the other parent make it so difficult, or the child behaving so difficult, so I give it. Try your best, really try your best, because even the little bit time of, if you have no contact whatsoever, it's so much harder. So even the little time that you have, even it seems so painful, you'll be surprised, because once the child recover later on, and if you have time with the child, it's more likely for you to be able to gain the child back. So yeah, even those times that it seems that the child is resisting anything is actually can be some very special memories for the child later on. So really important to try to not give up on your child. Fight for your child as much as you can. And then the next thing, number three, is your mindset. You need to keep these three things in mind. You need to be the safe, available, and loving parent. So before you say anything, before you do anything, whatever that you do around your child, think of that framework. Am I behaving like a safe, available, and loving parent? Think of that framework. Now the thing is, and that is not just about not reacting to your children, but everything as well. So the thing is, think about of loving. Loving is not how you see loving. Loving have to be in the perspective of the child. So think of and try to learn and understand what is the perspective of loving. There's a book that said about 5 love language. Understand what does your child see or feel as love, because we could be doing something genuine that deep from our heart, but that's not how someone else perceives as love. They will not be able to appreciate it. So try your best to project love in the way that they need it to see it. So then the other thing is building bonds with the child is very important in that love. So bonding is staying on your phone when you have time with your child. Really building bond through activity and experiences, and think of sensory markers, smell, touch, sight, think, colors, things like that. And then number 4 is think and truly believe and never give up hope. Keep learning and believe that unconditional love means that even if you are not with your child, your love will always be there. So hold on to that. Now you are truly a hero to hold on to this. So I really truly congratulate you, and I wish you the best on this journey. A lot of love and light. Be the hero.
Thank you, Dr. Petra Deeter. We appreciate you taking time to speak here with us today. As those of you now know, after everything that was said by our guest speakers, parental alienation is a serious matter that affects so many. It happens every day of the week at every hour. No matter who you are or where you live, no one is immune to becoming a victim of parental alienation. The reason we stand here together is for awareness. We want to inform as many people as we can because sadly, most are unaware that parental alienation even exists, let alone that it's child abuse. Although silent, it is still child abuse. Every moment it occurs, it creates another victim. Being a mother myself, I have the fear of my daughter one day becoming a victim. However, I know that creating awareness is the first step in attempting to stop the spread of abuse. That is why I joined together with Pennsylvania Bikers for Justice and our goal of helping victims in need and in advocating for change to make a difference in children's lives and others. I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here with us today while we continue to create awareness about this important issue. Also, I would like to thank all of our speakers for taking the time out of their day to speak about parental alienation awareness. And a very special thanks to our Southeastern Pennsylvania Bikers for Justice region members for hosting our event and the time and effort they put in to have this rally here for all of us today. With that being said, I want to extend an invitation to all of those who would like to join us for food and drinks following the end of our parental alienation awareness event. We will be heading over to Bus Station Hotel, where everyone is encouraged to join us. Again, thank you all for coming. We hope you will join us in our mission to continue to spread awareness and help the victimized children of Pennsylvania get the justice they deserve for the abuse they have endured. Ride safe, everyone.